Landscape lighting. Many of us spend more time at home after dark than during daylight hours. After spending tens of thousands of dollars to create a beautiful landscape, not being able to see it at night is a terrible waste. Spending less than 10% more on a landscape can double the enjoyment we receive from our landscape when applied to landscape lighting. Other benefits of landscape lighting include safety and comfort on pathways and stairs, discouraging unwanted animals and visitors, adding to home security at night. There is one instance where landscape lighting does not make sense. Because almost all real estate transactions occur during daylight hours, it is not a good investment to install landscape lighting specifically for the purpose of preparing your home for sale. This chapter deals with information that is not on the packages and instructions that commonly come with low voltage lighting fixtures and low voltage lighting kits. If you are totally new to electrical wiring, I suggest you begin by either doing a YouTube search on low voltage lighting and low voltage electrical wiring, or visit Urban Farmer in Mill Valley, where they will answer any questions you have for free. The Urban Farmer provides unusually helpful information as well as a unique service of loaning out a lighting kit at no charge to allow you to test them in your landscape before making any commitment to purchase. This provides confidence that the fixtures you buy will create the lighting result you want. The Urban Farmer has higher prices and better quality than the Home Depot and many other local suppliers. Home Depot has the lowest landscape lighting costs and hopeless customer service, which is a problem if you don't know what you're doing. There are three types of lighting choices available. High voltage lights, 110 volts, just like your house. Low voltage lights, and solar lights. Typically, it makes sense to use high voltage lights when the fixtures are attached directly to your house and or when you want to use high-powered floodlights that require more than around 50 watts of light. High voltage lights are typically 3 to 5 times more expensive to install and are simultaneously more dangerous if a wire gets cut or a connection gets wet out in the landscape. Because of that, you want to have a good reason to do it. In the case of fixtures attached directly to the house, they may be easier to control from an indoor switch or a motion sensor. There are still relatively few motion sensor options available for low voltage lights. In the second case, if you want to easily generate 100 or more watts from one fixture, you can easily install high voltage fixtures with 1,500 or more watts to light up the side of a house, a large tree, or a sports area. A licensed electrician or a homeowner is legally required to install high voltage lighting. High voltage light bulbs come in the form of incandescent, compact fluorescent, halogen, and LED. Switching high voltage lights can be done in 3 ways. By plugging a radio switched outlet into an existing electrical outlet and then plugging your lights into that, you can then turn the lights on and off using a radio control switch on a keychain or mounted on your wall. No electrician is required. Some radio control switches are handheld and fit easily on a keychain. Others are designed to look like a normal interior light switch. These can be typically mounted with a sticker or screws on any portion of your wall. In this scenario, you will need to periodically change the battery that powers your radio control switch. Plugging lights into an outlet that is linked to an indoor hardwired switch allows you to turn your high voltage lights on and off by turning that switch manually. You can have a new wired switch and an outlet added by an electrician and plug your lights into this if you do not have one already. This is the most expensive option. You can also use a combination of electrical timer and or light sensor to automatically turn your lights on and off. For example, the lights could go on as soon as it got dark. This varies throughout the year, and it is annoying to keep having to adjust the timer, and then turn off at midnight or 4 to 6 hours later. Costs. You can expect to spend between $25 and $300 per high voltage light fixture, depending on what you buy. If you do not involve an electrician, the cost of the switching materials for all of the above options is normally less than $100 per light setup. If you involve an electrician, you might spend an average anywhere from $300 to $1,800. The variables include whether or not an extra circuit breaker is required, how far the wire needs to run, the location of the switch, and what types of walls or soil the wires need to run through. Low voltage lights are great for several reasons. First, they are inexpensive to buy and repair. There are a wide range of fixtures available. There's no risk of electrical shock installing or maintaining them. They're easy to install yourself if you want to save money. In many cases, the wires can run on the surface of the ground, which saves labor trenching. Kits are readily available with complete installation instructions that are geared to the homeowner. Low voltage light bulbs come in the form of halogen, incandescent, and LED. Halogen bulbs are typically a brighter and warmer light, with bulbs costing around $6 per bulb. In the last year, LED bulbs online have come down to match this price and sometimes below, and are now a very sensible way to go. You can find some options of LED bulbs listed at maringardener.org. How much can LEDs save you? Installing a new system of 20 lights, the smaller wire and transformer will save you around $100. You don't need as thick a gauge wire for an LED bulb. Over 10 years, they will save you about $1,200 in replacement bulb costs, plus about 10 hours of your time. In 10 years, they will save you around $450 by lowering your electrical bill by about 85%. Over 10 years, there will be 200 fewer bulbs in a landfill. So it's a pretty big deal. Low voltage switching choices. Low voltage lighting kits typically come with a transformer that has a built-in timer. This allows you to automatically set up what time the lights turn on and off every day. Most timers don't allow different times on different days. As this method is built in at no charge, it is the easiest way to switch your low voltage lights. You can add a light sensor to the above setup and set the timer to turn on at 4:30 p.m. and off at whatever time you want it to go off. With the light sensor in place, the lights will not turn on at 4:30 p.m., but when it gets dark, regardless of what time it is. When combined with the timer, they will not stay on until dawn, but turn off whenever the timer shuts them off. You can use any of the switched or radio-controlled switch options mentioned on the section on high voltage light switching. Now we come to one of the more important choices you need to make, and there's no right or wrong choice. The choice centers on whether to focus on just creating a low-cost way of creating light, or whether to spend more money and have fancy fixtures that are part of the decoration. There is an important value choice for you to make when it comes to low voltage lighting. On the low end, you can buy inconspicuous basic black fixtures for as low as $20 or $30 each. Here the focus is on the light itself, with the fixture being largely invisible and cheap. On the other hand, you have custom and more expensive fixtures in the $50 to $400 range per fixture. These are usually better and often not only providers of light, but serve as decorative accents. Expensive fixtures often come with a good warranty plan. However, as you will need to pay shipping costs, take it back to the store, or in many cases mail it to the manufacturer, and wait weeks for a replacement, it is sometimes easier just to buy a new low-cost fixture than it is to repair an expensive old one. You can buy a lot of $30 fixtures for the price of one $300 fixture. There is also the fact that all low-cost and expensive fixtures that have glass between the light bulb and the landscape need to be cleaned with vinegar and a paper towel every year or so. Water builds up on the glass and then evaporates with the light, leaving a milky mineral deposit that starts to impede the passage of light. Personally, I find it more hassle than it's worth to track warranty information and receipts for a single fixture. I'd rather just put in a new fixture that's low cost than box the old one up, take it to the post office, wait in line, and wait 3 weeks. Given that the more expensive fixtures typically cost 3 times or more what a basic black metal fixture costs, I usually just buy a few basic extra fixtures anytime I put in a system. I keep a few extras at the house and leave a few with the client. It takes only a few minutes to swap out a fixture, which is less time than it takes to go to the post office and send it back for warranty. Normally, the only time I use high-end fixtures is if a client is excited by a particular fixture and or if the fixtures are going to be built into a deck, wall, or steps in ways that make them harder to swap out and more visible. Costs. You can buy basic low voltage lighting kits with 4 to 15 fixtures, including wiring, from about $200 to $400 online at Home Depot and some other landscape supply centers. You can assemble your own kit and expect to pay 30% more for similar fixtures, meaning if you buy 10 independent fixtures rather than a kit that has 10 fixtures, you'll pay about 30% more. Solar-powered lights are the cheapest to buy and install by far, but have a few drawbacks. Number one, the range of available fixtures is minimal, though it's been increasing in the last few years. The light produced is typically 2 to 10 times less than corresponding low voltage fixtures. The light is almost always a cold silver white rather than a warm color. They only work well when placed in full sun the previous day. The places that need the most light in the evening are typically in shady areas which do not get enough sun to power them. Similarly, in the winter months when it's overcast, there's less light to charge the batteries. You cannot turn them on and off by any kind of timed or central switch, which means that they will run until the batteries run down. The drawbacks of solar lights are such that I have not chosen to install them so far. I hear some clients saying that they're okay, and other clients, by the time that I come on site, if they have solar lighting, they've performed so badly, one of the first things I do is to rip them out.